USA here, coming at you with another video. We're going to be doing a little auditing today. So, why am I wearing this helmet, you might ask? Well, it's for my safety, right? Because as you guys know, dealing with pigs or municipal employees, right? It tends to be how would I say a potential. It's an occupational hazard, right? To have to deal with these pigs and these dirtbag city public servants, right? These public servants. And so I wear this helmet to protect myself, right? I mean, for safety, right? So we're going to be doing some safety inspections today in Wayne, some other municipalities maybe today, because I guess Wayne's only open for, they don't have the budget to be open like a regular city does. They kind of have like town hall, village hall, village hall hours, right? Basically, and they don't have a like 9 to 5 like every other municipality does. So it's interesting, but nonetheless though, we're gonna be stress testing our rights today. As I told you guys before, I'm going to turn this into a full-time kind of gig. So, of course, I don't have my safety vest today, but in the future, I'll have my safety vest, my big yellow safety vest, as well as my clipboard, right? I will, of course, because, we got to do safety inspections. We got to make sure everybody's safe and that nobody gets hurt. Obviously, safety first, right? Wear your heart. We're doing a little safety audit here. A little bit of safety audit here. Let's get buckled in, right? Safety first, as you guys know. As you guys are privy. Hey, let's see here. It's not on right. Oh, it's wrong. It is not properly. Let's see here. No, that's not it either. What the hell? It don't want to work, guys. My safety don't want to work. Here we go. Oh, I see. So of course we're doing this safety audit for your safety, right? For our safety, right? Collectively. Want to make sure. Nigger Rich is calling me. What does Nigger Rich want? What does he want? All right, guys. I think we got this figured out. How many retards does it take to put on a helmet? Apparently more than one. Apparently. All right, now it's kind of, there we go, there we go. We got to look good, right? Got to look good for the camera. But yeah, we're here doing a safety audit. Got to make sure we're wearing hearing protection, right? That's what we want to make sure. We're doing a safety audit, of course, for your safety, right? As you can see, this is for our safety. It's for our safety. Ooh, counting the money. Counting the money. They know how to count that money. That's for sure. All right. Do a little audit. A little safe, right? Safety first. Got to make sure the building's secure. Right? Make sure everything's secure. Check all the entrances. Make sure everything's safe, Make sure our taxpayer money is promoting our safety. Smells like somebody just ripped a cig in here. Oh man, it smells like cigs in here. It smells like somebody's smoking cigs in here. Okay, now it's closed. Employee entrance only. See, that's nice and locked. That's safe, I guess. Man, somebody was ripping a cig in here, man. Ooh. Still ripping those ciggies, man. Wow. I mean, I'm all for having a good time, but that's a little bit crazy, though. Still ripping them cigs out there, I see. Little safety audit here. Let's see here. Commission on Aging, they get their own display here, but nobody else does apparently. So this is kind of like acting as the new quasi bulletin board, if you will, it appears. But yeah, weird. Kind of weird. Let's see here. Ooh, the official candidate list, huh? Interesting. Council person, huh? That's an interesting way to put it. Let's see here. Safety. Just doing our investigation for your safety, for our safety, right, people? We got to make sure everything's safe in here. Safe and sound, secure and sound, right? They should be proud of the work they do here. Okay, door's locked. That's good. That's safe. Here's the cig ripper. Hey, about how many cigs do you rip over there every day?
What?
How many cigs do you rip over there?
None.
You know, it just smells like cigs for no reason.
Not here.
Oh. You weren't told to stop smoking cigs over there, huh? Several months ago, you were told to quit smoking cigarettes by Sergeant Tillmadge, and it appears that it was adhered to for a minute. But then they, you know, an old dog resorts back to its old tricks. Given enough time, an old dog will resort back to their old ways.
Although this one doesn't look bad. Right, that's what they were. Yeah, that's this one. This one, I think that's nice.
Notice how she talks to her like she's a pet. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah.
She talks to that lady like she's a pet.
Yeah, you can put it up on Monday.
Funny.
Here's your pen. Yeah, you're welcome.
Talking to her like she's a pet. Yeah, sure is.
He's baiting me.
It's safety audit for our safety. That's hence the hard hat. It's for our safety, you know. We're doing a safety inspection. We're investigating. Yeah. You can if you want, though. I'm friendly. I'm honest, too. She says I'm trying to bait her. No, you mess up on your own, Tina. Nobody needs to bait you, girl. Is exercising your First Amendment, is that what is that, baiting somebody? That's interesting, isn't it? Interesting characterization. Is it not? Here, let me put the earmuffs in. I want to make sure I'm safe over here. Let me get the earmuffs put in. See? Let me get the earmuffs here. Get the face shield on. See, does the light work? There we go. Safety first, guys. There we go. We'll have this on, so that way we are seeing. Let's see, how long do we have? 27 minutes. 27 minutes. Well, I think we've done all of our interior checks, right? Yeah, it smells like cigs like a motherfucker over there. Smells like ciggies. Working hard, man. Safety. See, it's blinking like safety. Safety first. Yeah, because auditing, this is an occupational hazard. You know, there are certain occupational hazards that one may have to deal with. So secret, man. Everything is such secrecy around here, isn't it? Never even been addressed, never even been helped. Isn't that crazy? You come in here with legitimate questions and you can't even get your legitimate questions answered. That's okay. That's okay. All right. Talking to the lady like she's her pet. Safety inspection, of course. We got to look at all the cameras, make sure those are safe and secure. See how safe and secure we are over here. Looks like we got one. Looks like that one's operating. I see it blinking. I see it blinking. Got another one here in the corner for extra safety. Ooh, we got the fire extinguisher. Looks pretty safe to me. Huh. Got the exit sign, that's nice. Got the SIGs, because, you know, you could always use a good SIG, right? Duh. You want to know the best way to smoke a cig, guys? I can't tell you. I gotta keep that secret. Yeah. Let's go do a little perimeter check here. Let's go check the safety. Let's go check do the doors work. Hey, they do work. Holy shit. They work like they're supposed to. Isn't that something? I'm trying to bait her. You notice the narration there? If you go inside a public building that you fund, I guess recording, right? Then that means you're baiting them. Does that sound about right? It's kind of interesting logic there, or lack thereof, rather. But ooh, is the door cracked open? That doesn't look very safe. That doesn't look very secure. And you notice there's no signage either. So. Where does it say that?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I say you said it's for employees? Oh, I'm just here. I'm doing a safety inspection. We're doing an investigation about safety, and I was just doing like a safety audit, and I didn't see any signage, and I noticed the door was.
We're carrying stuff in and out.
Oh, so that's.
Sorry about that.
Oh yeah. No worries. Yeah, they're carrying stuff in and out. So I don't notice any sort of signage of any kind that would indicate that this is a restricted area. As a matter of fact, I mean, there's clearly a sidewalk here that It's definitely publicly accessible. But yeah, that is weird. That is weird. Okay. Not very safe, not very secure over there. But we'll come back to that. Let's make our way around. She said, "Oh, it's for employees only, baby." I'm like, well, that's weird because it doesn't say anything of that nature. Employee entrance only. Smoking is prohibited within 6 feet of the building. Well, that's safe. That's secure. That's good. That's good. So what? We are, what, 1 out of 3 secured? But yeah, that one right there is, oh. Now it's closed, you see? Look at that, much better, isn't it? Much better. Propping the door open, that doesn't, but this right here, this doesn't look too safe. Right here, that doesn't look very safe. It's called Bluetooth concrete, right? Where it's just held on by hopes and prayers and your imagination. Interesting. You always find something, guys, every time. Every time you go here, you always find something unsecure, something out of place. Like right over here, right? We got, well, this door should not be, unsecured like this. Let's go take a gander here. Let's go make sure everything's safe. Make sure there's no people living back here, We want to make sure everything's nice and safe, as always. Yeah, we'll shut this because this don't look very safe and secure, Doesn't look very safe. The taxpayers deserve to have safety, Oh, it's broken. That must be why it's not closing properly. Not very safe, right? Not very safe indeed. So yeah, multiple safety violations. That door's, obviously propped open on a regular basis. That concrete platform, that's not very safe, And then of course, the worker, apparently she's a worker here. I can't confirm that, but assuming she is a worker here, I do find it interesting that there's no signage of any sort, of any kind, to indicate that this is any sort of restricted area, right? So kind of seems like inducement almost, right? Like if a person, just mistakenly used that entrance or that door, then they could be, I'm assuming they could be, maybe criminally charged or, some sort of penalty, right, for being in that restricted area that you would otherwise never know it's restricted because there's no signage of any kind. So it is interesting, though. It is interesting. Let's go over here real quick before we go back inside. Let's go over here. So we'll hang out here in Wayne until 1 o'clock, and then we'll take a short break. Maybe have a short, quick lunch, and then we're going to return. We're going to return to Westland. We're going to go to Westland. I believe they're open until 4, maybe 5 o'clock. Yeah, you see how like this door right here, it says employee entrance only. You guys see that? Well, obviously you guys see it, right? I mean, you can clearly see there's some indication. Now we're gonna make sure that it's actually secured. Okay, it is secure. That is good. So we are checking the safety. We want to inspect everything. Want to make sure everything's, nothing out of the ordinary. Nothing obviously missing, right? Nothing that would put anyone you know, at risk of not being safe, right? We, of course, want to make sure everybody's safe, right? That's a nice little cypress tree there. Not a bad little cypress tree. Bald cypress, one of my more favorite species. One of my more favorite species of tree. Yeah, I got a couple nice bald cypress trees out here. But yeah, we're auditing in Wayne, Michigan, City Hall, City of Wayne, City Hall. I want to see what's going on here. Going to see what's going on, and it's out here doing safety inspections, right? Here to keep everybody safe and secure in their persons, effects, property, right? Their papers. Want to make sure everybody's safe and secure. Like you know, like we had to fix the dumpster there that's broken. Gotta make sure everybody is secure. Yeah, so this is interesting now because, as you guys do remember, there was a bulletin board over here. There might have been two of them actually, but definitely one. I think there was one up here too. I think there was one up here and one over here. I'd have to replay. But apparently this is kind of like the new quasi bulletin board, right? So we have Commission on Aging presentations, right? Which I would like to clarify, is that a bulletin board? Because if so, I would like to have, you know, a display right here of all of the City of Wayne's, well, we'll just say their antics, right?
So here's the pamphlet. You can leave it single, just one-sided, you don't have to double-side it.
Yes, thank you.
And then do you have my page? You have my page?
Oh, yes, I have to.
Hey, do you guys take the zoning board applications, or is that at the bullet?
Yeah.
No.
That's across the street at Building and Engineering.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sounded like she was commanding her. Why is everybody scared of transparency? Isn't it weird? You can be recorded, right? Like, look right above you. Well, interestingly enough, it doesn't appear that there is any cameras right over here, which is really interesting if you actually look at it. Unless they're on these little corners over here. I don't see any actual cameras over there. So that is a little bit odd, I gotta say. A little bit strange. But, you know, of course, we are here for everybody's safety, so that's what we're here for. To protect and serve, of course.
I know, I just look at them and look at them.
You want the envelope back?
Yeah, that's fine. Or you wanna keep it?
Doesn't matter.
You can keep it.
Yeah, I definitely got to get a clipboard, guys, for sure. I'm gonna go home and get my safety vest, and then I'm gonna go get a clipboard, and then we're really gonna be safety then, right? It's really gonna make people feel safe, because that's the goal, right? We want everyone to feel safe. Oh my gosh! Holy moly! I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you.
That's okay.
We're just doing safety inspection today.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Making sure everything is secure. Let's fix that. Get that looking right. Let's see here. Let's try to make that look pretty. Like that. All right, everything's looking pretty good. Nice and safe, right? Okay. Nothing's falling off the wall. Everything's secure. Everything is secure. Nothing's falling off the walls. Nothing's gonna fall and hit somebody in the head. I still wear a hard hat because, occupational hazards and all. But yeah, I think we're pretty safe in here, guys. I think we're pretty safe. Make sure nothing's gonna, everything's secure, and I don't see anything obvious. Just make sure. So what we got here, we got the NAACP, there we go. There we go. U.S. Department of Education, there you go. Why minority blood donors matter. Interesting. What does that got to do? Oh. Sickle cell, okay. That makes sense.
Thank you. You have a good one.
Yeah. It looks pretty safe in here, though. Let's say so. Weird, though. There's no cameras anywhere over there. It's kind of weird. I think that would be a little bit unsafe, Not, of course, for any transparency purposes, right? But just like for everybody's safety, For my safety, especially. But yeah, after we conclude our time here in Wayne, because the building and engineering office, they're closed. They only work 4 days a week. Because they have like these village hall kind of hours. They want to masquerade themselves as a city, but then they want to have like really, really limited hours of operation. So it's kind of like village hall, but it's quasi, right? It's a quasi city. Really, it's a village, but in order to get the money for the grift, right, you gotta kind of misrepresent it as a city. Which, of course, if it was a true city, it would have normal business hours like Westland does, but it's not really a city, unfortunately. But that's why, because they're trying to save money, trying to save cost. It's like, well, it's not even a full-time job, which is kind of weird if you think about it. If it's not a full-time job, how can it be a city? Well, that's the gazillion-dollar question. So. Oh, of that? 7 more minutes of that, huh? Interesting. Hey, we're going to the Michigan Court of Appeals, guys. Are you guys aware of that? We just got word, breaking news. So we had court today. We had court in the administrative fake court, the Third Circuit Court, right, in front of the administrative judge, Nicole Walker, or Shannon Walker, I don't know, who gives a shit. But Judge Walker denied my motion for leave, right? And we've just been given the green light to proceed with the Michigan Court of Appeals. So we're finally going to be, taking our complaint and our case to a real court, not an administrative court, but an actual court in front of an actual judge, not an administrative judge, because an administrative judge isn't actually a judge. If you care to read Neil Gorsuch, he's a Supreme Court justice. If you read his interview, or if you watch his interview rather, he goes into great detail about how the district courts and the circuit courts are not actually courts at all. They're actually quasi-administrative courts. So that is a fact, right? That the district courts and the circuit courts are not even actually legally courts. They're administrators and administrative bodies, quasi courts. Courts in name only, judges in name only. So we went in front of the circuit court judge today, and we didn't. Well, it's not surprising, right? Because look at who the judge is, and look at the fact that it's not a real court, and the whole prosecution was a kangaroo prosecution from the start, from its inception. So it's no surprise that a kangaroo court would not want to correct the kangaroo behaviors of this lovely municipality. But thankfully, though, we were just approved. We're going to the Michigan Court of Appeals, baby. And then we're going to probably end up going to the Michigan Supreme Court. So the city of Wayne is going to get exactly what they want. Because they want to be famous. They want to create law. They want to enforce policies as if they were law. Well, we shall see. Michigan Court of Appeals and possibly the Michigan Supreme Court. Interesting. Interesting response to a camera phone. Very interesting. Very interesting. I'm given the green light to continue, everybody. And so that means we're going to the Michigan Court of Appeals, a real court with real judges, real laws, real court. It's going to be very, very exciting. If you want to call, fighting a bullshit charge exciting, then by all means, it's going to be exciting. Very exciting. Hey, there's our manager right there. She's managing. Managing what? Ooh, there we go. The wannabe fucking Abe Lincoln or something. The wannabe biker, right, with the handlebar goatee. Snaggletooth Johnny, Uncle Fester, AIDS, boilerplate, bullshit, terrorist. All right, that's what we got. Make sure this wall mount's secure. Make sure it ain't gonna, it ain't gonna fall off the wall or anything. That's good. All right, let's check. A couple more things. Make sure it's all nice and secure. All right. Make sure everybody feels safe. We want everyone to feel real safe. Safety is imperative. Safe and secure. What's going on in Wayne today, guys? What's going on in Wayne today? I gotta wear my hard hat because I've had doors slammed into me multiple times. Well, not multiple, I guess more than 3. No, it's been twice. 2 times. I don't know what that would be. A couple of times. I've had doors slammed into me a couple of times. That's why I wear my hard hat. You know, safety first and all, of course. We want safety first. Before anything else, I want safety, guys. It's crazy how scared of a camera some people are. It's really weird. What time do they open on Monday? 10 o'clock. They don't even have normal hours like a real city, right? Real city be like 8 to 5, 9 to 5, right? 8 to 4, 9 to 5, that sort of thing. 7 to 3, you know. They don't have any normal operation of hours. 10 to 4, that's a little bit skimpy.
City Hall's closed. Yeah, we're closed.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Okay, cool. See you guys on Monday, 10 o'clock. Well, I'll be here about 9:50. I'll be waiting. Every day for safety, of course. I want to keep all you guys real safe, you know. Make sure you guys are safe. Public safety, you know what I mean? I want to make sure everybody's nice and safe in there. We wouldn't want anything to be unsafe, right? We wouldn't want that. So let's make sure. There we go. They're making sure they're nice and secure, nice and safe. We did it, guys. No casualties, no police were called, right? Can you believe it, guys? Can you fucking believe it? That no police were called throughout this little audit we did here, you know? Or well, I would call it more of an investigation. Right, it's an open investigation. We really can't delve into the meat and potatoes of it, but yeah, it is for your safety. So, of course, it is for your safety, right? First and foremost, we want to make sure everybody's nice and safe. Nice and safe. Let's see here. Let's go move our parking. Park over in the veterans side of things. Well, Michigan Court of Appeals, guys, we're heading to the Michigan Court of Appeals, which is sadly, right? We would even have to get to that point, but I wasn't expecting old Shannon Walker or whatever the hell, Shannon N. Walker. You know, I wasn't expecting this Walker to do the right thing or the legal thing or the common sense thing. Of course, that's not typical of circuit court. Well, any administrator, you know, of any kind. It's not really. It's not really common, right? It's more So yeah, we had filed an appeal for leave, and we were denied. We're gonna have a written kind of, well, no oral opinion, just a written opinion, of course. And I just got word from my attorney that he has been given the green light to pursue a Michigan Court of Appeals case, and if necessary, Michigan Supreme Court, which he's done before. So he said, whatever we got to do, Mr. McFarland, to get justice for you, we're going to do. So, you know, having a little of a rougher day, right? You know, obviously had the, what would you call it? The near-death experience, right? From the crazy bitch in the Jeep who nearly fucking hit me and took me out, and, you know, all that. So, yeah, that was. I still don't know how I'm even fucking alive. But anyways, guys, so been an interesting day, nonetheless. But as always, guys, I want you to remember to live in love today, guys. Remember that. If you don't learn anything else from this video, learn to live and to love. Like our great, excelente, professional city clerk, Tina M. Parnell. Or as I call her, Tina Stanky. Tina Stanky, right? But yeah, let's go home real quick, grab the safety vest, right? Because we're all about safety. And then we will proceed to the Westland City Hall, which is, you know, a few miles away here. I'm going to go check in with the wife and kids, see if they need anything, right? See if they're hungry or need anything from me. And assuming we're all good, we can proceed into Westland City Hall and conduct our business in Westland. And, yeah, see if we can, you know, ensure everybody's safety, right? And shall be fun, right? Shall be fun, shall be interesting, shall be eventful. So, kind of started out as kind of a shitty day today, guys. You know, I had my, you know, my leave to appeal denied, and you know, it was kind of a somber kind of morning, right? Afternoon, if you will. There was some uncertainty if I was going to be afforded the opportunity to appeal to the Court of Appeals, right? To the Michigan Court of Appeals. And whether I was going to be able to get counsel or if I was going to have to do it myself, sort of thing. And we received permission from MDIC, I think it is. But we received permission from them. He's going to represent me in the Michigan Court of Appeals. Well, relief that we're requesting, right? All hope is not lost yet. All hope is not lost. I mean, of course, it's never lost, right? there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. It might not be the light that or at the tunnel that you wish to search, but you always have a choice, guys. You know, I look at it like this, right? You know, you can be subjugated and vilified and oppressed for so long, right? And you can exhaust every possible remedy available, but at the end of the day, at the end of the fucking day, we all have a choice. And we have a choice to take matters into our own hands, right? If the opportunity presents itself, or if the situation, there's no other remedy, right? And we're forced to make the decision to, well, live with tyranny, live with injustice, or to take matters into your own hands, right? And I'm just very glad, very fortunate that at least for the time being, I won't have to even consider that option, right? And what do I mean by taking matters into my own hands, right? Well, it's a loosey-goosey statement for, you know, on purpose, right? But I'm not calling for violence. I'm not calling for any criminal activity. But what I am saying is that, you know, at a certain point, when the systems in place are no longer working, or if those systems have been hijacked and perversed and nullified by evildoers, well, at some point, a person must take matters into their own hands, in the sense that they must begin to look at alternative remedies, right? And that remedy could be renouncing your citizenship, right? That remedy could be, moving out of state. That remedy, for some people, not saying for me, but for some people, right? Going postal. Some people go postal, right? And then you got to ask the question, well, why do some people go postal, right? Why do certain people, right? Why do they seem like, they snap, right? Why do certain people just seem like, they go postal? Why is that? Why is it certain people end up going postal? And, well, if you look at certain situations in this country, right? Like take the Epstein case, for instance, right? Or just take it in general. Let's generalize a little bit further, right? So I watch YouTube a lot. I see a lot of videos on YouTube. Judge Boyd out of Texas, right? I believe out of Texas. I don't think she got reelected, but she was a judge for quite some time. And she would be very, 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 very harsh on people that are caught, let's just say, nudity with a minor, right? Certain things along those lines, right? I'll give you more description. There was a case, right, where a guy who was in his, early to late 60s, early 70s, right? This man had found some sexually explicit images of underage peoples online, right? Now, mind you, the guy had never been in trouble in his life. He never acted upon those impulses. He never created anything. He simply searched and found what was already there. Now, I'm not going to condone what he did. I'm not going to say that that sort of act doesn't deserve to be punished and severely punished, but they essentially gave this person a life sentence, right? This man who had never been in trouble in his life, held a job his whole life, had family who cared about him, had family who showed up and supported him. And instead of giving that person even an opportunity at having any sort of a life, she gave him, 25, 30-year sentence, right? Effectively giving him a life sentence. Without the ability to appeal it, right? So they railroaded him, right? And gave him life in prison. And not to defend what he did, but when you compare that to the complete and total lack of any prosecution or any arrest during the Epstein, we'll call it scandals, right? To my knowledge, nobody on the Epstein list has been criminally pursued or prosecuted or punished, right? Certainly nobody's been given a 20, 25-year prison sentence or a 30-year prison sentence. But I just couldn't help but notice the stark contrast of how a regular, everyday person is treated versus how a politically connected or an elite, right, is treated, right? Or in this case, right, like just people in high places or people of high power, high status, governmental employees, people that bribe those governmental employees, or what do they call it? Lobbying, right? Lobbying. And so, AKA legalized bribery, of course. But I just thought it was very interesting how there's, not even secretly, right? Openly, there's two different tiers of justice. Oh, wait a minute, guys. Michigan's finest. Oh, wow. I just overlooked something that I need to show you. You see that, guys? That is a gravel parking lot that is made out of stone and gravel, right? This whole drive is made out of gravel. This whole drive is made out of gravel. Interesting. I was not privy to that factoid. I rarely go down to this shithole part of town, right? Because it's next to a atomic waste dump over to my left here. But yeah, that was something that I complete and utterly and totally looked over, right? So the city of Wayne, they want me to construct a parking lot on my residential lot because they're saying that you can't drive or park on anything other than asphalt or concrete. But I did just notice Michigan's Finest Cannabis Company, their entire driveway or their entire approach is made out of rocks, and it's not a approved surface to park or drive on. So I did find that interesting that dope shop, right? The dope factory, it can apparently bypass the rules, right? These rules. Because I did get a letter in the mail yesterday, or an email from the dipshit criminal briber, right? The FBI briber, Bob Watson. I did get a letter from him stating that I wasn't allowed to build an approach because it insinuates that it's okay to park on the grass that I never park on. The only person who's ever parked on my grass on that lot is my neighbor, and he's got his panties in a bunch because he can no longer park illegally on my grass, on my property. violating both the ordinance and my property rights. So he's upset about that, right? And he's on the zoning board, which gets even more interesting, right? So he definitely should know better. But of course, rules for thee, but not for me, right? But yeah, we're gonna go see old John Gosi over there. We're gonna go down to his bar here real quick. We're gonna do a little. We're gonna make a little road trip before we go and continue to Westland City Hall for the remainder of today. But yeah, we're gonna definitely get in contact with Mr. Goshi about his dope. So we want to see. Well, apparently you can have an entire gravel driveway, right? Subdivisions all around me can have gravel driveways, right? Cadillac Street, Whitney Knoll, Clara Street, Morris Street, right? 3rd Street, 4th Street, 2nd Street, right? You know, lots of complete and total gravel roads, gravel driveways. One guy has a lawn driveway. The gravel, it's so overgrown that you can't even see what was the gravel. It's just a lawn driveway. And yeah, we'd have to get the public records on that and see what. But yeah, I think we can get a very narrow. FOIA going in regards to Michigan's finest cannabis company, right? Because I want to see. Were they told that they have to construct the parking lot out of asphalt and concrete? Well, regardless of that fact, I mean, they're openly violating the ordinance. You know, that's not an approved parking surface, right? And, you know, maybe they got a variance. Maybe they went to the zoning board of appeals. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. I doubt it. You know, because of course, right? You know, if you're giving us taxes, well, then we'll let you do whatever you want. But if you're McFarland, who doesn't legally have to pay taxes because he already prepaid them in his life with his blood, sweat, and tears in the military, well, we're gonna treat that. So interesting. I do wanna go and just question him. Right? Just question old John Gosi about that, because he would know. He owns it, so we know where to find him. Maybe we know where to find him. Maybe not. Maybe we do. We'll find out. We'll find out. We'll find out. But yeah, guys, we're back home. We're going to take a short break. I'll leave the stream running. I'll leave the car running. If you guys want to stay, come back later. You know, it's all up to you. But I'm going to go inside real quick. Well, actually, no, I don't think I can keep the stream running. I'm going to have to end the stream, but I will, I'll be back. I'll be back in a few, and we'll continue the saga today. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.